Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, folks, wherever the heck in the world you are. It's V, the Guerrilla Economist, coming to you live on Rogue Coin, where we give you the entire synopsis of the entire crypto market with the hotshot traders Z and Cowboy. They are killing it, and anyone who can kill it in this bear market, let's just call it a blood market, where everybody else is running and hiding for their, and they're using their blankies and sucking their thumb and waiting for their mommies to come and help them. Z and Cowboy have been crushing it, returning 500% on trades. They're killing it. In fact, over the weekend, the two of the top five most traded coins on Binance were coins that Z and Cowboy have called. Many members in the room have already profiteered from it, so it's great. And with that being said, check out their trading room at thecryptoschool.io. Thecryptoschool.io. The link is in the description box. Go there. If you're new to cryptos, just sign on to the Crypto School. Okay, if you're ready to trade, click on the trading room. It's that simple. You want to learn, you're a beginner, you want to get your feet wet, Crypto School. You want to trade, click the trading room. That simple. All right. With that being said, Z, Cowboy, what's up, guys?
What is going on, V? Life's good right now. We're killing it, and we're just gonna dive right into this, guys, and talk about FA, talk about show you guys a TA on Bitcoin and all that good stuff. We'll do Bitcoin, Litecoin, and then we'll take some live suggestions right now, just to show you guys, we know our stuff. That's it. Simple as that.
We actually we showed people that we know our stuff. That we know our stuff over the weekend because we're absolutely slaying it.
Okay? Yes.
So and this is, I mean, look, Z with his fundamental analysis found one like a year ago, and then Ven we both kind of found around the same time, but V was like, or Z was like, hey, check this out, check that out, show me some info on Ven. So we always watch it, and those were two of the three top traded coins over the weekend, and there was another. One of our picks actually was the number 3. And at one point, all three of our coins that we chose, all three of our cryptos were the top traded coins on Binance. It was not just the top traded in volume, but it was actually, they were the top gainers. So, yeah. I mean, look, I'm sorry. Sometimes you just gotta whip it out and put it on the table, man. We killed it. So there you go. So should we just jump right into Bitcoin?
Yeah. We'll you gotta share your screen.
Oh yeah, that might help. That might help. I got Joe over here. Joe's going to smack me in the head if I don't share my screen.
Hey, you stupid bastard.
That's Joe. Joe, I'm in the radio. Okay. So
Joe Pesci, calm it down.
Yeah, Joe Pesci, mellow out.
Yeah.
No, Joe. All right. Sorry, guys. I had to calm Joe down. So we had some interesting things happen last week within the past 5 days or so. Bitcoin was on the way down, and all the TA in the world said that it was going to go down to, say, about 64 and possibly further. And even the short-term indicators were very, very bearish right here. But we took a look at a few things. The futures market was at an all-time high with shorts. And what that means that there's a high percentage of people betting that it's going to go down, because that's what was the very obvious move. And there were a few other things that we looked at. Because of the levels in the market, there wasn't as much volume. And all of a sudden it started to go down, and then people spent millions and millions to push it back up to here. And it happened twice. And it happened in a very suspicious way with these bullish engulfing candles that you see, these big green candles that pretty much are bigger than the red that preceded them. And in a situation like that, with all those factors combined, this is manipulation. Every asset's manipulated, all of them to a degree. The big players push the price around. It's not special to Bitcoin. All kinds of people make all kinds of money in that situation. So what I did was, in the room, I said, hey guys, these are the things I see. And that means I think it's going to get pushed up, even though it wants to go down. And a lot of people either, they asked me, what are you going to do? I said, well, what I'm going to do is I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to bet half one way and half the other. And I kept half of my money in fiat, half of it in Bitcoin. And, that way, if, I can sort of average it out. Okay. And then once I see things moving, I can adjust at that time. And that's exactly what happened. A lot of people stayed in, made good money on this rise up. We were seeing a lot of manipulation. This could look like a certain type of pattern in the charts. And to a degree, after a certain point, it really kind of sort of formed this upward wedge. And those do tend to dump But when manipulation's happening, what I was telling everybody was, up in this area, on some prior charts, we saw a lot of resistance. We saw a lot of heavy order book resistance. We saw a lot of like natural cloud resistance. So we figured it would dump right around the 7100 area. And sure enough, right about 7150, 7170, it did dump. And that was this morning. I went to bed last night with stop losses in, and I told everybody that's what I'm doing. I stopped out right about here, and it went all the way down here. And I ended up rebuying this morning. It does seem to want to go back down. If no manipulation happens, and we're not seeing the biggest signs of it. Although one of the things that is currently happening is the Bitfinex future shorts are actually at an all-time high again. Okay, so it might be that the big players want to mess around and do the same thing they did last time and push it up. And that's when you might see another upside down Bart Simpson head, as we call them. It kind of looks like Bart Simpson's hair right here. So really, we're planning for a possible up. If it does go down and there isn't any manipulation, we're going to be expecting possible 6,600 and maybe even 6,400 on the way down. So Z, do you have anything that you've seen here that I skipped or missed?
No, you scaled it perfectly. Cowboy made that announcement about Bitcoin within the room, guys, and it was spot on. I myself entered into USDT because I got stop lossed out, and it's a great time. This morning I rebought into Bitcoin because I'm looking at the markets. I'm going to making some calls here, but yeah, it was spot on, and right there and then, guys, that's a nice gain. That's a nice $500, $600 gain per Bitcoin that if you got out of Bitcoin into USDT or USD or whatever you choose to do, that's a nice $500 gain that I made with this trade. So that's a way, guys, to get gains during these blood markets is not to just hodl, but actually to be active, because you can, in a sense, quote unquote, short the market, which is exactly what Cowboy, brought on with his announcement.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So that's, this is what we do. Z and I, we take the weekends off. Basically, we were on all weekend.
We were on all weekend. There was no off time. I was like, oh man, Cowboy, it's Easter Sunday. Nope. Got guys like messaging in church, like he's trying to track stuff in church.
It doesn't help that Binance has a mobile app.
Oh, dude, it doesn't help at all. That's actually, not only do they have a mobile app, but they perfected it so well that they actually have stop loss functions and everything on it. So it's just nonstop. You just can never go away from it.
And a lot of the best coins are on Binance, so we stay mostly there. Although we do use a ton of different exchanges for jewels and things like that. So, but yesterday was the Orthodox Easter. My family is from the part of the world that does that. So we were doing that all day, and my fiance understands that, we're building something, we're changing lives. And so, if I had to kind of walk away to do some updating, I did some quick, dirty charting, taking pictures of my chart on my phone. Hey, here's what I think is going to happen. And as a matter of fact, I'll show that off. Last night, I got to look at Juan really fast. Juan has been killing it, everybody. And by the way, I'll give you, before we talk about Juan, I'll give you a quick update on Litecoin. Okay, Litecoin looks like Bitcoin. Litecoin's doing what Bitcoin's doing. So if Bitcoin drops, Litecoin drops. See how it does this? I'll show you Bitcoin really fast. Bitcoin has a leg down and a bear flag. Litecoin has a leg down and a bear flag. Bitcoin went down, manipulation here, went up. That's Litecoin. Bitcoin down, manipulation here, here went up. So they're lockstep. It kind of goes to what Z has been saying, in that Litecoin is sort of becoming less useful. And it's just, I'm thinking Litecoin might be a little closer to what Z thinks than what I think, because it's basically old tech, things like what do you call it? The Lightning Network. Basically, Bitcoin and Litecoin are going to function the same way on the Lightning Network. Why would anybody use Litecoin? There may be a reason. I'm not aware of it. Right now, I'm not terribly bullish on Litecoin. Okay. So that's and Z, feel free to add to that.
No, absolutely. The whole premise about Litecoin, is obviously, Bitcoin, the whole The whole thing is that Bitcoin essentially is going to be so large. It's going to be, upwards of $1 million or $100,000, $200,000 for a Bitcoin, just like, McAfee is claiming it's going to be. And, Litecoin is essentially going to be, the everyday use, right? Where Bitcoin is essentially going to be just like gold, where it's, a place to store wealth. So, with Bitcoin not really being at those levels right now, and with the Lightning Network being implemented, in which Bitcoin will be able to be used for cheap and it's going to be quick, then where does Litecoin stand? And that's, I guess, is the biggest, where does it stand question for this whole crypto space.
There are, and Z, you might actually know a little better than I do about this, but doesn't Litecoin have its own sort of mainnet function? Like, aren't a lot of people using Litecoin for atomic swaps and some new things?
Yeah, so correct. So Litecoin has a few things running up. Charlie Lee has even hinted on Litecoin potentially even being a platform. The only issue that I see right here is that it's so late in the game now for coins to be developing platforms to get traction. If you want a coin that already has a platform that's really well established, is of course you have Ethereum, in which they're dealing with their scalability issues, in which they're trying to figure out right now. But then you also now have Neo, you have EOS ramping up this summer. You have all these, you have ICX, Wanchain. You have all these coins coming up this summer that are really going to be propelling out. Where does Litecoin stand as a DApp platform? And then in terms of an actual trading platform, what's it called? A monetary trading platform. You also now have Bitcoin Cash. Where does Bitcoin Cash play in the whole Litecoin's future? If Bitcoin Cash is allowed to, trade at a quick amount.
I think V asked us to look at Bitcoin Cash a few weeks ago. We never did. And I know that, and I felt bad. V got basically kind of snubbed on that one.
My feelings are still hurt.
Yeah. Well, actually, V, we're going to use our profits to build you a safe space. And we're going to have Play-Doh and goats. And you're going to be bought.
I want coloring books.
Coloring books with goats.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll be good on that. It'll be great.
Thank you, Infidel.
You're welcome.
Yes, you're great.
We've got Bitcoin Cash is like Litecoin. This is phenomenal, guys. Watch this. Okay. When I say phenomenal, I don't mean that the chart looks great. I mean that you got Bitcoin Cash, you got the dump, the bottom, the push up, and the spill out, right? And then you got Litecoin, the dump, the bottom, the push up, and the spill out. And then you got Bitcoin, the dump, the push up, the spill out. Okay.
It's all the same.
It's all the same. All right. So you're looking at coins that basically, as of now, all have the same utility, all have the same platforms. What Bitcoin has that the others don't is the network effect.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody's been using Bitcoin. People trust it. They're all set up for it. The people in the third world in Venezuela, because of their socialist, ideals, that their Bolivar is 20% devalued in the next few days, that are using Bitcoin to preserve value. They've been using Bitcoin. It feeds their family. I mean, that's why I think Bitcoin is going to continue to be what it is purely for the network effect. And if it wasn't for Ethereum's network effect, I would say EOS might be, or, ICX or any of these other might come after. But Ethereum does have that network effect. So,
yeah. Real fast. One of the guys inside the chat was saying that we're missing out on Abra, in which Abra is going to be utilizing LTC for their smart contracts. That's true. You are right about that. Abra will be utilizing LTC for their smart contracts, and there will be more LTC pairings. The only issue that right now you're facing, though, is that with atomic swaps coming around the corner, guys, these quote unquote big pairings like Ethereum pairings, Bitcoin pairings, even Litecoin pairings, and some people are even talking about Ripple pairings, are no longer going to be the reason why these coins dominate anymore. These coins are going to start dominating based upon their fundamentals and not about the fact that, hey, look, people are buying Bitcoin because Bitcoin's a father coin. That's the only pairing which you can get some of these coins off of now. Once atomic swaps happen, you will be able to trade cross-chain between any coin at any moment. So I can trade Neo for Loopring. I can trade, Litecoin for XRP directly, and it won't necessarily be a pairing anymore. It will just be seamless trading. And that's where a lot of these coins, you're going to start seeing a lot of these coins start falling because their fundamentals just aren't as strong as the newcomers. And that's where I see a lot of issues right now. You have to understand that a lot of these older coins started off when cryptocurrencies were very small, when a lot of these startups didn't have that much money, but they could make a coin work because the market was small. Now you're starting to get big boys coming in, like OneChain, for example, that has over $1 billion worth of private funding, coming in and dominating the market because they can afford to pay, they can afford to get the developers to work on things, and you're going to start seeing some of these older projects sort of die off.
Epic.
Yeah, a lot. We saw that with Sia Coin, didn't we?
Exactly. We saw it with Sia Coin, a prime example of Sia Coin, great tech, for its time, great tech for its time. But then, all these young guns coming out with cloud storage like Blue and so forth are coming in. They're able to market well. They're able to get their tech well. They have, 30 developers in their back office working on things, where Sia Coin has like 3 or 4, if that. How are you going to compare? You can't compare anymore because unfortunately these young guns are realizing that there's so much money to be made in cryptocurrency space. They're coming in with big private investors, and they're blowing it out. That's why Mark Cuban and those guys are so interested in cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, there's room. Like you can actually come in with the right team and the right concept, and you could beat out these other these other older coins that might have had a good reputation or a good run like 6 months ago because the tech is evolving so fast. The key, I think, and the holy grail of a new coin is getting that network effect or the right partnerships. And we can't really say here on the show, but there's a certain coin that we like a lot, and Z heard some inside rumors, and I think the inside rumor became official. And one of the coins that we love actually did a major partnership. Z, how much of that do you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, I just looked at the chart. Oh yeah, there you go. I can talk about it. Just, as you guys know, here at Rogue Money, we're very bullish, or I should say I am very bullish. I would like to think that
Z and I are very bullish, the two of us. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Frank's mainly bullish on Litecoin, and V with Bitcoin Cash. We are bullish on Ven, and Ven. The rumor is, and I guess it came out that Ven was going to have a partnership with Louis Vuitton now. Obviously Louis Vuitton's that huge, fashion industry brand.
Yeah. Not only that, Louis Vuitton is a large group. They own Tag Heuer watches.
That's what I love about V. That's what I love about V. He knows how to connect the dots. It's great.
That's a big fashion conglomerate.
Yeah, V connects the dots about a quarter mile at a time.
Yeah, actually, real fast. I actually had somebody talk about the whole. Remember, I talked about this a while ago, one of our early shows, about how the Palm Beach Confidential was talking about how there was going to be a huge boom in cryptocurrencies come late April into May into June, and that there's all this money on the sidelines. And I think you hinted on the fact that bonds essentially were going to implode or something like that.
Yeah.
V, could you reiterate on that fact?
Yeah, and this is what some people just don't understand because they have their heads shoved firmly up their rear ends. When you look at investors, right? When you look at institutional investors, when you look at sovereigns, and what they're looking for is always safe investment, safe harbors. Okay, we're in a world where there's zero interest rates. We're in some places of the world where there's negative interest rates. So everybody's chasing yield. All at the same time, they're trying to shore up profits and try to keep things safe. What traditionally has been safe for the longest time, since forever pretty much, has been the U.S. bonds. U.S. bonds have always been a long-term safe investment. We've known for quite several long periods of time, probably over a decade or so, that now there's a bubble in the bond market because, there's a lot of things. You've been following this show, you folks, you would know, there's a lot of things going on internationally that's affecting the value and status of the dollar. So because of the shakiness in the bond market, those quote-unquote safe haven investments, they're going to do something. They need to switch real quick, okay? They need to switch. And what they're looking to switch into is, believe it or not, you're going to see some massive moves in equities. That's why I predict another equity beatdown. I think we're going to see another, 20,000. I don't even know where the Dow is at this point. I haven't got a chance to track it.
It's like 24, 25.
Yeah, I could see it going back down to 20,000 and having them jump on at that point, maybe even 18,000. There's going to be some massive sell-offs coming. It's going to make people feel like it's the end of the world. It's all going to go to hell in a handbasket, but not yet. Like I said, we have about 5 to maybe 7 years left of this whole entire cycle. So we're looking at people jumping in. They need volume. So what they're going to do? They're going to jump into equities. They're going to jump into believe it or not. Again, here's a traditionally been a safe harbor: precious metals. That's what we're seeing. Even though the prices have been suppressed, fluctuating here and there. What's happening in the physical market is that physical inventory on large scale. I'm not talking about you going down the street and buying, spending $50 on a 1 ounce American, whatever, right? I'm talking about the physical inventory is drying up. So institutional investors and sovereigns are moving into physical commodities, and they're also, for the first time ever, guys, they're moving into and or looking at very closely to move into very seriously cryptocurrencies. Everybody's chasing yield. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is just the nature of the marketplace, and you have to do it. Otherwise, it's like entering a bodybuilding contest. You're going to be on steroids because the next guy next to you is on the juice. So you're going to be entering equities and cryptos and commodities. Why? Because the hedge fund guy next to you is doing the same thing. And unless you want to short most of your investors and have them lose money, you're going to be doing the same thing.
Yep. Or you're going to find out real fast that you're going to be doing the same thing once you stand next to the guy on the podium and he's 3 times the size of you and you look like a little mini shrimp.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, that's the reality of it. And so back to Venn. This is let's see if I can find this chart really quick here. This right here. This is the 5-minute chart in Venn. We had a sick run up. I mean, just sick. We've been talking about Venn forever, since it was in like the low 30s. I mean, since like 32, 33.
Exactly. Well, you see right before where that run up, guys, was. I mean, we were below that. We called it at like 32. 31.
Yeah, and that's what we told these guys about it. Z and I've been playing with it since it was at 2,000 sats. So that's another story altogether.
Mm-hmm.
But we're sitting here right now, and it went up nice and high. And this is actually something I posted as an update this morning. A little bit hard to see on this screen. Can you guys actually see that? I have to change my application screen. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Give me a second.
But real fast, guys, while Cowboy's doing that. But that's a prime example of how cryptocurrencies sort of plays into the whole economic situation that's going on internationally. So that's really interesting stuff. But that's new stuff for me, and I know it's new stuff for a lot of people.
I would say, cryptos and any other investment, pragmatism is my game. So, there are a lot of people out there that feel that cryptos are nothing. Cryptos are going to zero. Well, look, on a long enough timeline, everything goes to zero. I mean, that's just life. But I'm going to make my money on it while it's here and now.
Yep.
And I'm going to take my profits when it goes up. And those profits generally go into things like precious metals, things like that. So, just because I'm in the crypto game does not mean that I'm married to cryptos is my only way of trading. And, there's a lot of people who are crypto purists. You got people that they only want to use cryptos to pay for things. You got people that only want to use Bitcoin Cash because it's the anti-banker coin and, Roger Ver and all that. And I'm with them. Philosophically, if I was to actually go and spend money, probably would be Bitcoin Cash. And I think it's always going to have traction, and I think it's always going to follow Bitcoin. But and that's and V was mentioning that it actually did have a nice spike on Saturday night. But all the major coins did. But to go back to the charting, what we're looking at is a nice run up. This happened last night, this morning, and went all the way up to something like 41. Maybe almost 42. Yeah, 41. It spiked up there. And then it retraced. And so I put this box right here. And the actual call that I made was, the re-entry zone is going to be in that area. Okay. And what is that? It's hard to read, but it says about 39500. So anywhere between 39,000, 39,500 Satoshi, I was going to enter because I actually took profit right when I saw it go parabolic. Well, there it is. It's looking bullish. It just had a nice little dump while we were talking. But the bottom of that buy zone that I put for my own is right here, right where it is right now. and everything does look like it's going to continue up. But I always have a tight stop loss.
Nick, I just want to tie in real quick. When Z mentioned that whole connection between Ven and Louis Vuitton, and most people just they hear Louis Vuitton, just think handbags.
Oh, yeah.
Most people don't understand. I kind of mentioned Tag Heuer, but the point is this: they also own, and this is why it makes them a very recession-proof industry for them. The amount of wines and spirits that they own. The amount of wine. Oh, dude, they own Hennessy, bro.
Oh my gosh,
they own Hennessy. They own Moet. Okay, Moet. Moet and Chandron. They own them.
The Moet, and now they say make me did.
Girls used to diss me, now they write letters saying that they miss me. The rapper Duke, the never thought that hip hop would take it this far.
Now I'm in the limelight because I rhyme tight.
Exactly. They own that, and people don't realize they own a lot of high end wines and spirits. They just bought, who the hell did they just bought? Bulgari. The Italian jeweler Bulgari.
Yeah.
They bought Bulgari for 5.2 billion. 5.2 billion.
Like nothing. Like nothing.
Yeah. And here you go. The cosmetic store that all our wives and girlfriends love, Sephora. They own Sephora.
So they're pretty much the Disney of.
They are the #1 luxury brand and luxury services brand in the entire world. They're the #1. They own 100 some odd different companies. I mean, it's ridiculous. They own Zenith, Marc Jacobs. They own Thomas Pink. They own fashion houses, man. Christian Dior is owned by them. They own the Christian Dior. Givenchy, Kenzo, famous Japanese brand. They own Kenzo. My God, I mean they're huge. They're a heavyweight. Okay, they're a heavyweight. So
yeah.
For them to be quartered, I mean, you got to understand, guys. I mean, she's Moet, Monsieur, Krug, Hennessy, Dom Perignon. They own Dom Perignon.
Yeah, see, guys, see, this is awesome. When you see all these dots connect together, as we always say, I personally like to chase where big money goes to, right? So, Louis Vuitton is clearly big money. Their brand is clearly big money. They're going into cryptos. You're starting to see like IBM, posting ads about, the blockchain. Google, Amazon, all these big guys are looking at blockchain. And, as a lot of people say, you cannot have blockchain without cryptocurrencies, and you cannot have cryptocurrencies without the blockchain. They're hand in hand. So just know that, this is manipulation right now when it's down.
Yeah. Exactly, and you got to understand all this manipulation, guys. A lot of it is the death rattles of a dying jackal, and that's the old bankster system. That's the sycophants in the U.S. and Anglo-American banking structures that are literally passing away. So you got to hodl in the sense of keep faith of that the genie being out of the bottle is not going to get put back in the bottle. Cryptos in the crypto sense, okay? That's why it's important, getting in on trade, learning how to trade so you can profit from all these fluctuations. Go ahead, guys.
Oh, yeah. No, it's I think we could maybe take a look at a couple of quick coins, and probably about time to finish up here. So Juan, another coin that we love. We talked about it earlier. Last night, this is the one where I was at the Easter party, and on my phone, I drew this upward wedge. And it was kind of a little, that would be an upward wedge, and they tend to dump, and there you go. So it did exactly what the technical analysis said it would do, just based on your typical analysis for a very simple market formation. And it dumped, and my stop loss was at the bottom of this right here, because if it dumps beyond this baseline, this support of the channel, then you have a good chance of it dumping further. And as I woke up this morning, fortunately, it was all the way down here where I bought back in. Of course, I had bought in here. I bought in here. I sold all the way up here, and then I bought back in here. And that's what's known as a scalp. It's an advanced trader thing, not recommended for the kids at home, but I do call out some of my scalps when I'm in the room. So you got these calls that either I'll find them or Z will find it, whether it's fundamental analysis or I might just be scouring the charts looking for a good call. And then we'll sort of, Z and I will call each other. Hey, you think it's going to go here? You think it's going to go there? It's what we do all day. And we're successful at it. We have made good money doing it. And now we're able to let people watch what we do. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
No, just real fast, guys. You know, kind of to wrap things up. You know, just show them real fast the trading calls, guys, in that room. Cowboy, if you could just scroll down.
Oh, sure.
And just scroll up and scroll down. Just to let you guys know, you know, we let our results do the talking, guys. We're not here to give you guys this elevator pitch, right? It's just, you know, we're in there all the time. We're always posting inside there. That's the general trade call. So this is what you guys get when you guys are in the Watchers trade room. You're always seeing us make constant updates on not just our calls, but you know, just in cryptocurrency news in general. And we're always in there answering questions as well. So this is what you guys get for in the Watchers trade room.
Yeah, it looks like I didn't share my screen for that last part about one. I'll talk about it really quick, but it's probably pretty much time to be done with that. Give me 1 second.
Absolutely. And folks, here's the deal. You know, learn how to profit. You know, you're not left out there without any tools. You're not left out there without any sort of resources. You're living in a time of abundance in terms of resources that's been given to you. And you know, it's like what Tony Robbins would always say. It's not lack of resources that stops a person from advancing. It's lack of resourcefulness. So be resourceful. The educational tools are there. The trading room is there. Everything's there to help you succeed. I mean, you have no excuse. Just, you know, make it happen for yourselves. And folks, you know, people will say, well, V, you know, how am I going to pay for my monthly membership? Folks, you do it by making money in the trading room. That's what covers your monthly membership. Make your profits, pay the membership, stay in there. I mean, there are people that have, you know, paid for a whole year's worth in about 2 or 3 days. So
yeah, I just had one guy pay for his entire year's worth in one trade, guys. In one trade. It's just awesome. Awesome stuff.
Sick. It's very sick.
Yeah, I mean, the guys in the stock market, they're happy to get 5% at the end of the year. Yep. Z and I got well over 65% in the last 48 hours.
Yeah, I was actually with one of my buddies who works for a very big hedge fund this weekend, and he's all jazzed. You know, he's like, dude, I just got my quarterly bonus. It was awesome. I killed it. I did 25%. I was like by far like one of the best traders, you know, in the industry per se for that quarter. Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, congratulations, man. You're good job. You know, I don't tell him what I really do, right? No. I tell him that I'm an engineer. I'm like, oh, awesome stuff. You know, let's go to the desert and have fun.
That's it. Exactly. Keep tight-lipped.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that earlier on your morning show, V. Keep it tight.
Yeah, if you got things going on in your life, folks, don't be going out there blabbing to people the things you're going to do, the businesses you got, and whatnot. Just manifest.
I got all this money.
Yeah, you know, let them sit there for like, how did he just buy a McLaren?
I thought he said he was an engineer that was making like 65 grand a year. What happened?
Yeah. What happened? And then you just put the windows up on your McLaren or your Lamborghini or your Mercedes or your BMW and just drive away.
And it has a broke money, watch us trade room sticker.
That's it.
That's what's right. WUT, baby. Like, for example, what? So how do you do that? Well, you do like Z and I did. You get in here where my mouse is on the bottom left, and then because it's going to go there on the screen here pretty quick, and then you ride it all the way up to here. And then you sell, when you see that wedge, you sell right underneath that wedge, right where my mouse is. And then you buy back in here and then you write it back up. That's how you get that money. That's how I got that money. And everything we say on here, none of it's intended as investment advice. This is all for entertainment purposes only, not being used or not intended for anybody to be used for financial gain. But it's really entertaining, folks. It's really entertaining.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
And we always let our, like I said, guys, we always let our results do the speaking for us. Just check out the chat, guys. You know, these are real life members that are inside there. They'll let you know their experiences. And, you know, feel free to ask any questions, guys. You know, we're always inside there and we don't ever shy away.
Right. With that being said, folks, we are over and we are out. And CJ's not here to take it away, so I'll do it myself.